Lithium-ion batteries are a fire hazard that dies in a decade, but researchers just built a forever battery out of tofu brine that lasts 3 centuries. This isn't a kitchen experiment. It's a $574 billion backbone of the future power grid. Tofu brine power an external grid using natural pH saltwater electrolyte inspired by tofu production. Scientists have created a battery hitting 120,000 plus charge cycles. It swaps flammable chemicals for a safer water-based solution that refuses to degrade. This effectively solves the biggest roadblock to a 24/7 renewable energy, storing solar and wind power for decades without the risk of a massive chemical fire. What do you think about this, John?
I'm excited for this. I think this is cool if they can actually get this to production and commercialize it. So the battery itself, it belongs to a class called aqueous batteries, meaning it uses a water-based electrolyte rather than organic solvents. So in this case, the electrolytes, like you said, it's similar to tofu brine, which is a saltwater level chemistry. So it operates at a neutral pH, so that avoids corrosive conditions. It uses organic electrodes instead of heavy metals. And this matters because traditional lithium-ion batteries degrade due to chemical instability and side reactions. So water-based systems avoid many of these degradation pathways. And so that 120,000 is key. Plus, that 120,000 key plus discharge charge cycles is key with minimal performance degradation. Because if you compare that to typical lithium ion, you're getting 500 to 3,000 cycles. And so, like you said, this translates to a potential lifespan of like 30 plus years. Yeah, daily charging could last centuries under lab conditions. So, as one researcher kind of he analogized this, was traditional batteries equals running in acid rain, whereas this system equals running in perfect weather. I don't know that. Do you disagree? What are your thoughts on this? Is this a potential solution for batteries or for energy storage, Craig?
Well, I'm thinking like this as this update from switching from a high performance racing engine to a stone reliable water wheel. A racing engine, the lithium ion, is fast and powerful, but burns out and needs rebuild every few years. This tofu brine battery is like the water wheel. It's not going to win a drag race, but it'll keep turning maintenance free for your grandkids' entire lives. So I'd like all the energy alternatives we're seeing, and we'll have to see how big per watt these things become and how more efficient they get. Like the cycle life right now is 120,000 plus, so versus the 2,000 approximate cycle for the standard lithium. Energy density is 48.3 watts per kilogram.
Yeah, watt hours
with
per
a volt.
kilogram,
yeah, water, and 2.2 volts with a rate capacity of 20 A to G. I don't know what that is, A to G there, but it doesn't give us the power we currently want to power like our phones and whatnot.
No.
However, it is a stable storage supply that we could definitely use, and I'm curious to see how quickly they can bring down the size and the weight to power ratio.
Yeah. So this is great for grid storage, renewable energy buffering, or industrial systems. So yeah, we're not talking, you're not going to see a tofu battery in your smartphone, at least no time soon. So what's also arguably just as important as lifespan is that it's non-flammable, so there's no thermal runaway risk. It's non-toxic, so it's safely disposable. It uses an abundance of materials compared to lithium-ion, which can catch fire, require hazardous waste handling. Now, that being said, we've covered other batteries that don't, like more solid-state batteries that don't catch fire, but they still require hazardous waste handling because they use rare earth minerals or heavy minerals or things like that. So I think this is cool. This is more comparable to, like, we've covered the sand storage and the air storage and things like that. I think this is more comparable to that, right?
Yeah, it's definitely more comparable to that. And one of the most striking claims is that this battery complies with the GB 18599-2020 and ISO 14001 environmental standards, meaning it can be directly discarded without hazardous waste materials. You can just toss it, which is interesting. And most water-based batteries suffer from water splitting, where they accidentally turn their own liquid into explosive hydrogen gas. The pH 7 neutral approach creates a stability window that prevents the battery from literally gassing itself to death. So the timing is surgical. China is currently in the middle of a 574 billion grid overhaul, specifically designed to integrate the massive amount of solar power this battery is built to store. And despite the tofu branding, researchers didn't just dump food waste into a jar. They synthesized a high purity magnesium calcium chloride mix that mimics the brine chemical profile, meaning the battery won't smell like fermented bean curd in a factory. It's a forever battery that is safe enough to throw in a standard landfill, even if it's too heavy to ever fit into your pocket. Would you live next to a massive battery farm if it was guaranteed non-flammable, or does grid scale storage still sketch you out? Let us know in the chat. We'd love to hear back from you.
What do you got going on, John?
Just plugging away, helping companies with government funding, attending events, probably startup drinks or flowgrammer events. How about you, Craig?
Lots of stuff going on. I honestly don't know when this is going out. I have to check. I think it's going to go out in April. But there's all sorts of stuff going on. If you don't know about OpenClaw, it's the latest AI automation agent that's taken the world by storm in 2026. And OpenClaw Toronto chapter just launched. And we have all sorts of events going on. So check out openclawto.com. Our first demo night is April 14th. We have a Builder Cafe on April 10th. We have a bunch of other events. There's updates every day. We've deconstructed the latest 2 betas over the weekend that was launched in OpenClaw and what you should do about them. There's a bunch of articles over there. Go check that out. We're also over at flowgrammer.ca, where we do N8N automations. We run the Flowgrammer community and do Builders Hub and connectivity for AI and business automation agents. And for everything else, head over to Toronto Starts, where we hook up startups and investors at our Startup Investor Drinks. We do mentoring, we do workshops, we have a list of investors. There's a whole bunch of content over. You can also book me over there if you want a meeting with me to talk about whatever, help your startup. Check out torontostarts.com. But John, if people are looking for non-dilutive funding, where should they go and what is that?
Yeah, non-dilutive funding. We're talking government grants, tax credits. Come find me on LinkedIn if you have any questions. Right now is shred time, SRDD. But come reach out to me too if you've got a startup, if you've got a company. Reach out to me if you have any questions, and if they have company questions about their startup in general. Where do they find you, Craig?
Yeah, find me at torontostarts.com. But John, just before we go, something's open right now, and it's closing May 31st. Thank you. Can Export. And what?
Yeah. So
what
if
should
you have
people
at
know
least
about that?
300,000 in revenue in the previous year, and you're looking to expand outside of Canada, reach out to me, and we can put together. We can talk about an application for Can Export.
All the links we talked about will be in the show notes wherever you're watching this. Thanks for watching, everybody. Leave us a comment, give us a like, give us a subscribe. We really appreciate it. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.